guys, I'm Joel Camargo. I'm super excited to you guys through another training video. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to register an inflow invoice for taxes. All right, so we'll be creating an invoice for the tax expense type. We'll be referring the expense to a previous invoice, and we'll be viewing inflow outflow types. All right, so let's head on into our software. Alrighty, so once more we are in Proteus. This is the main interface for our purchase module. And we are going to be clicking on updates. All right. Today, as I said, we will be registering an inflow invoice of the tax type. So that means we're going to be playing around with transactions. We're going to click down on transactions where we can find inflow invoices. All right. So let's click on inflow invoices. This is just asking me if I want to stay on the purchase module, which we're going to accept OK for that. All right. And we're going to be making inflow invoices for taxes. So a parameter window is going to be popping up once you click on inflow invoices, and it asks you what type of invoices you want to open up. And as I said, we're making tax expenses. So this indicates that the invoice to be typed is normal, processing is import expenses or freight expenses. All right. So we're making an invoice for not a product, but just that extra cost and that extra expense relating to a previous purchase. So this is the window that shows you the current inflow invoices in our system. And we're going to click on the big blue button that says add to create a new inflow invoice. So once we click on that, this page will load up, which is just the inflow invoice registering page. So at the top, we can see some of the properties, including the supplier, which we added supplier number 5. We're assigning this invoice an invoice ID so that we can reference it in the future. We're also classifying it here in the class. We're going to select one of the ones previously input into our system. All right, and we're just going to select this one, accounts payable, so you can register or classify in any nature that the invoice is pertaining to. Here we'll also add a delivery and a issue city, just so that we can customize the fields of the invoice. Now, here we're going to click on the product. I am going to turn my camera off for just 1 second so I can make sure you guys view this. But we're going to click on other actions. Underneath other actions, you can find invoices. This window will pop up, a parameter window, asking what the expense value is that you're going to add pertaining to a previous invoice. So you see we add the expense value right here. This is the value of the expenses. The original supplier code, the code related to the supplier from the previous invoice. All right, and here is the inflow outflow types. So here we're going to click on the little icon, opens up a bunch of previously registered types for us to select that already have customized or preset configurations for us to register this invoice as. So we're going to click on view. As you can see, once you click on view, it pulls up the type of inflow outflow with all of the parameters that you've messed about, all of the fields that you've changed. Here on the zero quantity field, you see it says yes. So that means that this invoice will not, the quantity will not affect the invoice price. It is simply an expense with no quantity, zero quantity. So that's why that invoice type was selected. Now here we're going to add from the invoices that we input from that parameter window. We selected the one that we wanted to attach the expense to, this one. So let me go back. In this window, you can see we put the expense value, the original supplier code, the original supplier unit. We selected a type for the expenses pertaining to one previously set configuration, and then we selected an entry date and a final entry date to search between the current invoices that we have in our system that apply to those parameters. These are the ones that popped up. Here, we can look at the one that we want. We selected the second one there, all right? Just to explain that better to you guys. And now, once we selected that invoice, you can see that these two products pop up, each with their value, assigning that expense value that you had put in the parameter and dividing them by the unit, all right? So here at the bottom, you can look at the totals, the customer, the expenses, trade notes, tax records, and so on. But that is pretty straightforward how you create an inflow invoice for taxes. Just make sure that you configure it to what degree you want. But that is it, pretty straightforward. You can see our invoice here at the top. Oops. But yeah, very straightforward how you register an inflow invoice pertaining to taxes. Thank you guys for watching. I will catch you guys on our next module. Thank you.